Phil, don't be scared.
I mean, I'm a little spooked right now.
Don't be
Danielle.
Don't be scared. But I have some bad news.
I mean, this person does not look like a regular person. What's going on here?
Well, this guy is the star of Stasis, and he's just coming out of Stasis right now, as we're seeing in a pool of fluid of some sort. It's very, very unfortunate. So
how I wake up every morning.
Yeah, this is pretty much how I begin every day. So this is Stasis. This is a classic-style point-and-click adventure from the folks at The Brotherhood. It's the name of the developer and publisher, in fact. I think Daedalic is doing some of the publishing duties. But this is very much like we see here, we're going to see a robot helper. Welcome to this corporation's ship, basically. And your biometric scans, basically, we're a little messed up right now. Arrhythmia, multiple fractures. Oh, yeah.
Am I understanding that right? This is an adventure game?
This is an adventure game, yes. You'll be seeing a whole lot of sort of walking around the ship, pointing and clicking at things. Right now, we're just sort of learning the premise of the game, and we're very confused. We've just woken up. So this game, as you'll see, very much takes the atmosphere, the very oppressive and scary and freaky and depressing atmosphere of Alien, or even the recent Alien Isolation, and basically distills it into a really awesome point-and-click adventure game.
So here's my question with that, because it seems to me like a scary game, a horror game,
yes, it is,
would be more difficult to do with a top-down camera like this.
Sure.
Just because you can see everything.
Yes.
There's no element of like needing to like look over your shoulder or look behind you or anything like that.
Yeah, there's none of that in this game. The entire thing is this from this isometric perspective, except for obviously when we're looking at terminals and things, it kind of goes into this little first person. Yeah. Like right here, we're looking at a puzzle right now, kind of a little bit of a first person thing. The way this game does it so well is mostly in sort of the writing and the overall sort of tension of what's going on here. This is all a mystery, but we know something's not right. You know, we woke up in this weird place. There's screams. There's weird sounds happening. It's deserted. A lot of it comes through in the sound design as well.
Okay.
There's masterful sound design in this game. Very cinematic, but not in a cheesy way. Like this actually has that hum of a derelict spaceship. It has, you know, the machinery, kind of all the sounds you would expect. And of course, there's something not being quite right, which I won't spoil at all here, but, you know, there are things perhaps we don't want to encounter on this ship as well, and they're unpredictable.
Again, without spoiling it, can you die then?
I have not died yet at the hands of perhaps one of the things that we don't want to run into, but I've also only played about an hour and a half in, and I've gotten scared while playing this game. Scared and intrigued, certainly.
Well, it's just like, you know, you bring up Alien Isolation, but so much of the tension in Alien Isolation is hiding from a thing that can actually kill you.
Yes.
So that's what and that's where the adventure game aspect of it, and having the isometric perspective seems like it would be more challenging to recreate that tension.
Sure. Well, I mean, let me take it a step back and say it's not exactly like Alien Isolation. It's more that it creates the oppressive...
You said this is Alien Isolation 2, right? This is
it
the
creates
sequel.
Sort of the oppressive atmosphere, and a lot of the sort of environmental storytelling of Alien Isolation, which was actually a part of that game that I loved. You know, kind of goofy graffiti aside, that game did a great job sort of telling the story of the space station itself.
Yeah, how many messages have you seen scrawled in blood on the walls here?
None so far, actually.
Let's hope.
No blood messages yet. No bad graffiti yet.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can only hope, right? But also no cool, you know, there were a lot of, like, really interesting little stories in Alien Isolation of sort of the other characters who had lived on the station, and it was kind of like, what they did so well there was painting the portrait of a really depressing, like, corporate-run dystopia in that game. And they do that so well here, too.
Yeah, I was going to say, and that's something that you're getting out of Stasis as well.
Absolutely. Even more so, perhaps, than Alien Isolation. This is very much the point of this game, I feel like.
Tell me a little bit about the puzzles, because obviously that seems to be like a core part of the gameplay here, is that you're doing some degree of, it seems to be somewhat simplistic puzzle solving, but I don't
Yeah.
Are the puzzles simplistic? Do they get more complicated?
They get a lot more complicated. This is just sort of the first puzzle, so I didn't feel bad kind of spoiling this or anything.
Yeah.
The solution was there, sort of how to get power to a specific thing. I mean, right now our character is hurt, and he needs to be healed, so this is the medical bay, and he's going in and getting scanned, and he needs to get healed and all that.
That's not a ghost, then.
Not a ghost, that's his scan. I mean,
I thought it was a
there might
space
be
ghost for a second.
There could be ghosts. Ghosts in the ship somewhere, ghosts in the machine. But basically, they're really good. At least so far, first hour and a half or so. They hit that sweet spot between it's not super obvious and I'm, banging my head against a wall because I missed clicking on something. It's very much like, oh, okay, I clearly need object A to figure out how to power up object B, but I need to go and sort of search object C to make sure, everything is where it should be. It feels very logical. It feels very much in keeping with the world, which is very important, obviously, in this kind of game. That's Certainly. One of the most important things you can do. Yeah, sorry, it sounded like you wanted to ask me something.
No, I was just responding. I was saying certainly. But I've got to say, I was initially, when I looked at screenshots and videos of this, I'm interested in any horror game, but I was kind of put off by the isometric perspective, just in the sense of, like I said, feeling like it would take away some of the terror. I still am not convinced about that, but you are definitely talking me into trying this out. Like it seems like there's something here.
Yeah, this is less scare a minute thrills monsters. I'm not saying there aren't any monsters, but it's less that and much more mysterious, oppressive atmosphere, feeling lost in this weird world and weird things are happening. And here's the first flashback sort of showing us a little bit of our character John here. So he's a space dad. He's definitely a space dad. Yeah. He has a space wife and space child. And they're all talking about going into cryosleep here. So a little bit of character
I'm
detail.
currently a dad, but I'm hoping at some point to upgrade to space dad.
I think you should be a space dad now.
Yeah.
I was kind of laughing about this the other day because I played Corpse of Discovery this week as well. Also a cool game about a space dad who's lonely. So there's a little bit of thematic consistency going on here. Now the writing itself is, the actual lines are, they're serviceable. These are, parents talking to their child and like singing to their child to go to sleep. And then they talk about hypersleep. But the writing and sort of the terminals and sort of finding out what's going on is awesome. Like, it's very much that drip feed of details. Immediately you know something is not right on this space station. Immediately you know something messed up is happening. But you get more and more details as you go on, and it's really, really well paced in terms of sort of figuring out the mysteries and figuring out what the hell is going on this ship and why you're in stasis and where your family is and all of that good stuff. I mean, I would position this, it's certainly a horror game because there's a lot of, there's the element of gore, the element of surprise, the element of horrible things have happened here. But it's almost more effective as sort of a horror mystery than a all-out, you're hiding from things. At least in the early stages of the game here.
Okay, fair enough. So you're going to keep playing it?
I'm going to definitely keep playing it. This hooked me. Now, obviously, we play a lot of games in our jobs. We don't always finish games all the time. We do for reviews, obviously, but for videos and such, we don't always have time to finish things. But I am definitely going to finish this game.
This is one you're going to go back to. Yeah,
I'm going to go back to it, and I'm going to I need to know everything that happened in it, and that is the sign to me of a good adventure game when I need to know kind of every last detail and feel pulled into the world that strongly.
Certainly, and a good horror game when it creeps you out, but you still want to keep coming back.
Absolutely. So this has been Stasis from the Brotherhood. This is out now on Steam.